Hi, this is Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a masculine card to share for makerforte. I am using the On Track stamp set as well as the Champion Sentiments and the Laying Down rubber stencil. I start out by putting a piece of cardstock down on my Wendy Veggie Make Art station, and I place the laying down rubber in a diagonal format, and I blend Color Hive Eclipse Black ink through that with a blending brush. I take my time on getting a blend because when you first put down the ink with a dry blending brush, it kind of turns gray and you don't get that vibrant black. So I just make sure to keep those magnets in place and continue to put down the black ink. And eventually I get the gradient that I like, and I think once I reveal this you'll see that it turned out really nice. I just wanted the illusion of tire tracks, which is what it is, because I am making a race car themed car today. So I just wanted to let you know that makerforte has a few events coming up. One of them is the Summer Craft Camp featuring Eileen Hall. That starts tonight at 7:30. That's June 14th. And now back to the card. I am inking up the stamps in the Eclipse Black, and I'm using my ink swishing tool to get a nice impression. And then I take a circle die from my stash and I die cut a circle from the sentiment. From there, I start my copic coloring. Now, I did speed this up 2 to 4 times the speed just so that I wasn't taking up all of your time. But I start out with the racing stripe and the tires, and I start that with a C8 copic, and then from there I go to a 6, a 4, a 2, and I kind of do the same thing with the tires. Now, you're going to see that the tires I go back and forth with throughout the process because I wanted to make sure that I had the shading correct and had the shape correct. So let's talk about the car, the paint job of the car. I decided to make a cherry red, and I'm imagining this being a Mustang because I have a Mustang. Anyhow, I go in with my darkest color being the R59, and I put that in as my shadow. I go and I leave a little bit of bounce back, meaning that right at the tip of the hood and on the where the sun will shine, I leave it white. Now, I do go back in and color that, but I reserve that for a lighter color. I next go in with an R29 and I blend out the R59, and then I go in with an R46, so that would be my mid-tone, and that is what the majority of the car is colored. And then for my highlight in the car, so that's where the bounce back would be around the edges and in the center of the hood where the sun would be the brightest, I put in an R24. And I use that same combination throughout all the red parts of the car. So you'll see along the door it's a little bit lighter, but then under the hood it's darker. And then that's when I finish up the tires, and I go in with the C4 and the C2 to get the illusion of metal. And then I think I forgot that back in, so I'm kind of hurrying that up. Now, for the center grille of the car, if you look at a Mustang, it's kind of curved in, it's concave. So I put my very darkest color as a line across the center, like between the two light bulbs. And then I go in with the R29, the R46, and the R24, and they're in a gradient going up and down. Remember, the R59 is going through the center. And that's way you're kind of getting that curved effect by having that that darker color in there. Now you could go ahead and color that gray, you could do it black, you could do anything that you wanted to do with it, but I wanted mine to be all red. So let's talk about glass for a second. In order to give the illusion of glass, you've got to put some grays or bounce back color in there. So I started with a BV 23, and then I went in with a C2 and a C1. And then I used my colorless blender. Typically a colorless blender will just erase, but that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to soften those lines but still give the illusion that there's glass. So that's why I did that. Now if you had a background like trees or sun or something like that, you could put blues and you could put different reflections in there. I just stuck with the grays, and I did the same thing for the headlights. So then I went ahead and I cut down that stenciled layer to 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I mounted that onto a red mat and popped that up on foam tape. And from there I mounted that onto a black mat. So again, I wanted to talk about Makerforte. On June 17th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, there will be new products released for Foiling Friday. And then again on July 1st at 7:30 p.m. the July new release party will be taking place. So be sure to check all of those things out because I'm sure that there's some very exciting products coming up, and I can't wait to see them as well. So once I got my layers onto my A2 card base, I then decided to mat the sentiment circle with a red circle, and then I placed down the car and the flag. And so since the circles were popped up, I only popped up the bottom half of the car, so it all would be the same height or the same level when you look at it on the car. And then for the flag, I just glued that down because, again, I wanted everything to be on the same level or the same dimension. And because no card is complete, I used my Crafter's Companions shimmer brush. So if you have stuck with me so far through this video, I want to say thank you. I would ask if you would kindly consider commenting, liking, subscribing, maybe even hitting that notification bell so that you are notified when I put up my next video. That is greatly appreciated, and I just want you to know that I read all the comments and I do answer back if you have any questions or anything else. Also, all the products that I use can be found either by scanning that QR code, which will take you straight to Makerforte, or in the description box below I will have them linked, and also my blog will be linked below. So if you have any questions about any of the products used or any of the technique, please let me know. Now I am coming in with some red gems. I think it's the crimson from Makerforte, and I'm just scattering those around to keep the eye moving as always. And I probably fiddle with this a little more than I want to. I sometimes fuss too much, but I love my crafter's wand to place these things. That way I don't have to worry about being precise or trying to pick them up with my fingers because they're so tiny. So I really do like that crafter's wand if you're interested in that. So again, thank you for sticking with me. I've got the last two pictures of my project to share with you, and as always, until next time, keep crafting. Thank you for being here, and be blessed, my friends. Bye bye.